As we are on to Berlingrad and in the bottom right-hand corner. Shopify Rebellion already getting a win in this Brawler's Club. 3-0. Pretty nice there for his chances of winning the top prize, the most money possible. It is Byun. And at the top left, you know him. You love him. He's an absolute madman. And let's be honest, we all need just a little bit of craziness in our lives. From DPG, it's Hero. And yeah, here we go. Byun versus Hero. This should be a very, very fun matchup. Byun's TVP always has been something that is extremely entertaining to watch. He has just a very aggressive style. You know, in the past, he's just been constant pressure on the map, and it's been a while since I've gone to see it. I believe the last TVP he did end up playing in an actual tournament was in IEM versus Zoun, where he did end up losing that 2-0. Zoun just managed to get the better end of him with, of course, just some really, really solid play. And, of course, you know, that being up against one of the best, if not technically right now, the best Protoss in Korea. Maybe Trap, aside from Trap, of course. Understandable, but we'll see how he does up against Hero. Hero has a much different style from a lot of other Protosses. It's a lot more, well, how do I put this? Unorthodox. Unorthodox, for sure. As we are just seeing, interestingly enough, no Reaper from Byun has not gone for that early scouting option. It is just going to be the 2 Marines coming out and went for the fast CC, so... someone corrected me. I forgot about Zest. For some reason, I still consider Zest like, oh, he's going to the military soon, even though I know that that is in a weird position. I'm not sure when that's going to be happening. But we do have the Twilight Council on the way for Hero. As yeah, Byun going for the quick expansion. It is definitely a build order that is less safe. Usually what Byun has been doing in TVP has been usually the barracks early 2 gas into early factory, so you can get out Widow Mines, you can get out an early Cyclone, and then you go for your expansion. And Inu is just having fun, zooming in on things. Absolutely can't blame him. The game is very pretty, but it's going to be Blink Stalkers on the way, and if we're looking at right now what Hero has at his disposal, yeah, it's not going to be too many gateways just yet. We'll see how many are added up to. The usual is 3. 3 is just safe. It allows you to apply very, very light pressure and to get out of the map. And then from there, you can usually do what you want. As interestingly enough, Byun, I believe this is no starport yet, is going up to 3 racks before the starport. So it's a little bit of a variation, in fact, on a different build order that was happening a lot in TVZ and TVT, which was the Barracks Factory Barracks Starport was the build order. As Hero completes the shade but does end up getting caught. And so it's interesting to see this, but of course Byun really does like his 3 racks pressure. It's one of his favorite builds in TVP to get out just a lot of Marine Marauder and just bio units in general out very, very early, as we are going to have to swap over. A single tank will be out by the time that these Stalkers potentially push across the map for Hero. And so really Byun should be completely prepared for any pressure that the Protoss brings. +1 on the way, Stimpack as well. The Hellion does get caught, but it will scout out the fact that, hey, Hero has a probe there. He's looking to take a 3rd base around this time, which is about normal, considering the fact that I believe we should be looking at, 4 gateways. So we are going to be committing a little bit to this Stalker pressure. It's definitely not a lot, but it's enough that there's going to need to be a reaction from Byun, who is producing 2 Marauders at a time, has stim and combat shields on the way. We'll see how Hero does. I'm always nervous when I see Hero Stalkers, because I'll be honest, there are a lot of games where Hero is thrown with Blink Stalkers, but this blinks in, gets the bunker, and the tank isn't really covering this position. But you have to be careful, because that is a lot of bio. But he's going to start to be able to snipe down some of these workers. Can just juggle back the injured. Ooh, Stalkers does already lose 1. Loses a 2nd as well, and so far, not the best, but does manage to at least get some value. 7 workers falling is already fairly worthwhile for Hero. Only loses 2 Stalkers for that. Picks away quite decently at the army of Byun. Going to continue to try and apply pressure. 4 more gateways on the way. Charge as well. It's just going to be pure gateways coming out from Hero to try and defend if the push eventually does come out from Byun. Going to get chased away. Stim just a little bit too strong to try and fight head up, and we do actually have a very nice move here, actually, with the charge lots being loaded into the Warp Prism. Those can just go in, and again, and Hero can do this because he knows that Byun wants to be aggressive. He knows that Byun wants to get out on the map, and so as soon as he sees a large amount of units with this Observer, that's when that Warp Prism is going to go in, and there we go. Going to head on into the main, and this is absolutely how you handle pressure and aggression from your opponent, but Medivacs and Bio are already here, but that's a lot of Zealots being warped into the main. Oh my. Hero looking to just try and get critical economic damage and hold at the front at the same time, but has to be careful as Stim comes out. The Immortal gets caught. The Stalkers are going to get caught. And the Zealots just aren't doing enough damage. I think Byun is just going to run this game down. As all the snipe on the pylon. It's just Zealots, it's just Stalkers trying to get as much value as they can and actually getting on top of the tanks. Byun can't continue to attack. 19 SCVs, 14 probes go down. But Hero holds on. The clutch warp in just in time, even after the pylon cancel, is able to save him. And now Hero's actually trying to swing this across the map. I don't know if Hero can. I mean, he has a large army. Has 3 bases as well. Byun right now is just stuck on the 2. I mean, Hero right now, what you can do is you can just macro up. You can just build SCVs or build probes. Just kind of sit on a 2-base contain and not really commit on in, but he's going to try and go for it. And I feel like this is a bit aggressive here from Hero, but maybe it will work out. Byun using the choke point between his tanks, trying to get rid of all of the Zealots, and does so, but the tanks go down. The Immortal being ferried over. 11 more SCVs fall. Byun 29 workers left. As now the blink up into the main is going to be available. Hero not quite going to go for it. Hero right now, I mean, continue just to apply pressure, and he absolutely can. 46 workers to 31 is on 3 bases still. That's a lot of money that he's floating, as finally we're going to see a warp in of 8 Zealots. A recall to the 3rd base as this drop from Byun did slide out, but it was scouted. And Byun just being shut down at every turn, and oh, the beautiful blink. All of Byun's units. And really this game, it just looks like it's going to start to spiral out of control for the Protoss. Byun, I mean, he's still stuck on 2 base. He doesn't have a 3 base option. He has 1-1 with his bio for sure, but he's looking for a triple drop, and it's going to get scouted. And there's just nothing that Byun can do right now. It just feels like there's no ground that he's able to gain. And Hero's just playing too well, as all the Blink 4 doesn't quite get the medevac. You don't want to commit into the tanks, but you are also up about 30 supply. And when you're up 30 supply, you just try and make any trade you can because it's going to absolutely be worthwhile. More Zealots coming on in. The Immortals trying to move forward, but both the Immortals are going to go down. 15 SCBs fall, though. Then the Bio is now just fighting straight up. It's 22 workers left for Byun. Even if he survives this, it's not going to be worth it. GG. Hero's going to take game number 1. But yeah, Hero, I mean, I've always said this again. I think his PvT is really some of the best. Not some of the best, but it is his best matchup. And even since he came back when he was originally playing against like Gumiho and Innovation, but he was really showing some really just solid Protoss play versus Terran. It was really great to see, and I was saying it when I got to Castle's game. I was like, listen guys, Hero is still really good. As I do apologize for the lag spikes, unfortunately, because I am watching from North America, do occasionally get those lag spikes. I'm on the East Coast. It's kind of the worst place. So we are going to get a few lag spikes occasionally. Hopefully there won't be too many. And we can continue watching uninterrupted, but yeah. I always love Hero's PvT. Even when he's playing against players like Maru, he manages to make the games close and interesting, and even almost take series off of Maru. That was when Maru was in like tip-top form. That was when Maru was looking like the best. Like no one could beat him. Like he's the top of the world. Hero came in and managed to really have a close series against him. I forget what it was for, but did have a close series. And it's going to be Stargate opening from Hero, which is interesting, and I actually really like it because Stargate was what Hero was using at the beginning when he first came back. He was going Phoenix into Colossus, and he was actually getting a lot done with it. As this Zealot pushing out is going to get just kind of knocked down by the fact that we have a 2 Reaper opening here. Interestingly enough, off of 1 Barracks, 2 Reapers into 3 racks, which is an opening that I have never seen before. Huh. Very interesting, as we are going to have the Oracle coming out first here for Hero. He's going to be moving across the map and trying to get some damage. And, well, I mean, the thing is, 3 racks versus Oracle, usually the Oracle can actually get some pretty decent value. Just because you're not going to have the option of a Widowmine or a Cyclone being out in time to deal with it. So we'll see how good Byun's positioning is and if he's ready. As these Reapers, just see it. I think the Reapers just do see the Oracle. As the Reapers make their way in, the Oracle is brought back to deal with them. 2 probes go down. But now we are going to be having a move out. Phoenix on the way. Twilight Council is going to be the tech option for Hero. And Byun still just continuing on with this 3 racks right now. Hasn't moved out across the map. Has Stim and Combat Shields on the way. He's going to be working on his +1 eventually with that engineering bay. Is the Oracle being a nuisance? But these Adepts, I mean, they can one-shot Marines, and oh, 1 Adept might go down. Doesn't get off the shot. Kuro having to split his fire. Just trying to get 2 Adepts out. Can't. Great stutter step from Byun. Is able to get rid of 2 of them. That's the Oracle making its way through, just trying to see what there is to see. Apologies that I'm yelling so much, by the way. It is early, but gotta get them all out. But the Oracle, just scouting around, and really what this Oracle is used for right now is just knowing the timings for Byun. If this Oracle manages to see when that tech lab stops researching, Hero will have an exact idea of when Stim Pack is done. He'll have an exact idea on when Combat Shield is done. And that is very valuable information. So we're going to see a stage sword that will be denied. But he goes on in. Ooh. Doesn't actually see that Stim has finished. As we are going to be having a 3rd Nexus on the way for Hero as Byun is moving out right now. 23 Marines, Stim and Combat Shields, +1. But you got Blink Stalkers. And of course, the real power of Blink Stalkers is that you can pick away at these Marines as they push across the map. But actually, Hero here is being a bit aggressive. The stim is still active. There's just 3 Stalkers. The Oracle will throw down that Revelation. And just continued 3 racks production off 2 base. Medivacs as well. Now going to be added on as the weak Stalker isn't blinked back. And again, Hero, why are you taking this fight? This just feels so aggressive. The Oracle is going to go down. Stalkers are going to fall. And it's it's an even trade there for Byun. Stalker is going to try and fight, but Marauder is just too good. And the bunker, of course, keeping them away. We have the double drop that has been loaded up by Byun. Going to make its way into the main base. Only 3 Stalkers here, so they should very easily be dealt with. And the strafing run going to get all of these units onto the probe line, immediately sniping that shield battery. And there's actually not enough that has been recalled back here for Hero. Byun going to find some incredible damage with this. 7 probes already going down. The Marauder's still fighting. We eventually see a pickup. And Byun is going to get on out now. Ahead 40 supply. This game looking very solidly in favor of Byun. Who has taken a 3rd. So we're not going to be seeing any continued just 2 base pressure. That's a 3rd base that's going on to location. We're going to see Byun going above 40 workers. And he should be very easily handling this game. Yeah, 40 supply difference. Gets on top of the Stalkers. The Widow Mines are already here. And, I mean, really, there's just not enough for Hero. Just so far behind right now. As reinforcements are going to get caught out, but Widow Mine connections are good. I mean, a great bait on that Widow Mine shot, but Byun's just going to continue to kite this out. And almost all of the Zealots have gone down. Again, this is +1 bio. It's soon going to be +1/+1. And there's just so much going on for Byun right now, and there's not a lot for Hero. As finally a pickup comes out, and Byun just going to regroup, regather his troops. I mean, actually, Hero chasing this down quite well, managing to find a decent trade, but the Zealots finally all fall. Stalkers are going to have to run away. We're actually seeing a proxy gateway here from Hero, who I think is going to try and just find somehow a 3 base all-in. He's committing to this pressure, but I just feel like there's so much here for Byun. The Zealots are getting value, but they're not getting that much value. They don't have any upgrades. Yeah, Byun should just be able to hold on to this. I mean, Byun's going for a 4th CC behind all this, and he's holding the pressure. This does not look good for Hero, who's dropped below 80 supply. GG! We're all tied up. But we just do see the probe harass going down from Hero, and I forget exactly what Hero's results were in IM. I don't believe Hero made it out of the qualifying stages, if I'm not wrong. Of IEM Katowice. I think he did actually end up losing to Byun. I'm going to actually check on this because I actually want to know. But we do have the Marine into the reactor from Byun, so nothing too crazy build-wise. Is actually just going to be I gotta find the right part of it. It's just going to be going for, you know, single gas after the barracks into the fast expand into factory. So a bit more of a greedy build. All right, thank you for the lovely people in chat who are correcting me. Yes, Hero did lose to Nice and then ended up actually having a decent run, but lost to Ryung actually, who is another player who had a really great run. So yeah, here Katowice definitely was not the I think the result that Hero would have wanted. And again, I think the set could be same for Byun. I talked about it in the Byun vs. Dream series, but Byun, his form definitely looked good enough to, I mean, probably get arguably top 2 in any other group but Group D, as we do actually have these Adepts shading on in and are going to find quite a bit of value. Oh, that Marine just barely does survive. SCV gets sniped as well. Oh, and Hero actually gets into the main here. Should be able to shade on out. He's going to be able to find a few SCV kills, and these Adepts actually getting a ton of value. Are going to join up with 2 more, and Byun, I mean, he went for the command center, the fast CC, and so this is kind of the risk that you run, the threat that comes from going for a greedier build, is that you can just get punished. And one thing to note that we are seeing there, the recall is being used because guess what? Hero has taken the gold base. So we are going to be seeing a lot of gateways, a lot of mineral income coming through for Hero. We should start to see that climb up. There we go. The income now starting to resemble the gold base mining. It is not too much. The gold base gives you about 200 more minerals per minute. It's not a ton, but it is enough to definitely make a difference. You can get out your tech a lot faster. You can get out your gateways in much higher numbers than you would otherwise. Of course, you know, it is not really, it's just about enough to really compete with a mule, is what I would say. The mule mining, about, the gold base about evens that up, as we are going to be having Adepts here trying to shade on in. A great split. Hero just gets a lot of information on the unit count before canceling it. Knows exactly how many Marines there are. Knows that there are workers mining in the natural. That stim pack is on its way, and we are just having, again, the 3 racks variation of this opening where Byun is not going to be getting the starport just yet. It's just going to be going up to 3 barracks, getting stimmed, combat shields, concussive shell. You know, just even more units out to try and apply 2-base pressure, and hopefully, again, hopefully this isn't just a 2-base all-in again from Byun. I really do hope that he will have a third behind this, because he looked a lot better when he had that safety net. But that being said, Hero, gold base economy right now, again, still mining 200 to 300 more minerals per minute, is getting a lot of gateways. A lot of gateways. Already at 3, adding, going up to 7. And he's going to have a ton of production behind this. And so, you know, Byun is going to be the one responsible for doing something. He's going to be the one that needs to get out on the map. And no. No! Oh, Hero. You are a crazy man. A crazy man. As the Cyclone is going to get killed, it's going to see, though, a bit of how many gateways there are. But look at... Who the hell proxies a Nexus? And that's not even a proxy Nexus. It's just a Nexus with a... I'm in love. I am in love. Hero being absolutely crazy right now on this map with these builds. And Byun, I mean, Byun's taking a 3rd command center, but Byun's sticking at home. Byun's saying, listen, I think you're going to attack me, and that might be the case. But Hero is absolutely going to have the economy to support it if this gold base is allowed to get up. Of course, another recall can be used for the probes from the main. And I just love this from Hero. I mean, let's see if that recall is used. I don't know if it will be, just because you do need to save the recall for positioning now into the mid to late game. So Hero not going to pop it out quite yet. Has to be careful. His medevac or his warp prism gets sniped. Great drop out there from Byun as the Stalker's trying to blink on forward. Recall was used. So you now have 2 gold bases mining for Hero. And look at that income difference. That is quite astonishing. Almost 800 more minerals per second. Byun has not scouted this gold base. He's just completely worried about the, you know, the upper right gold, I think, right now. Yeah, he hasn't seen it. And right now, Byun, Hero has so much money coming through. Hero he needs more gateways. He's starting to float money, and he's working already with 8 gateways. That is absolutely insane. The Zealots are going to try and fight straight up here. Immortals starting to bash away at those Marauders. But Byun should realize that something is up. Byun should realize, listen, you have way too much stuff, even for just one base, or even for just one gold base. But he hasn't scouted for a third. And right now you have... This is, I mean... Oh. Absolutely brutal. And Hero pretty soon should start to be able to take advantage of it. Again, 1K more minerals per minute. It makes a difference. It makes a difference as we're having Zealot drops absolutely everywhere. 6 SCVs do go down. That tank does not quite fall. As we do have enhanced shockwaves on the way for the Ghost, but just look how much pressure. I mean, Hero is able to cause so much chaos. He has so much just going on across the map. He has so many warpins available, and Byun's struggling to deal with all of it because it's 10 gateways right now. And even then, Hero is not using up all of his money. Byun, I mean, he's just trying to bring everything back. He's trying to hold on. The Zealots are just causing absolute havoc, though the tanks have been killed. As the supply depots were not lifted, then this should be game. Byun, he's going to go for a counterattack, but how much is he going to lose at home for it? Well, it's 32, 34 SCVs. The number is just going to continue to climb as more warpins come through, and he cleans up the units at home. I do not think it matters. Hero right now just absolutely smurfing in this game. That's gonna be a dead command center, and that honestly, I feel like that should just be it. I don't know it. I mean, Byun has ghosts, but I don't know if it's enough. We're losing the command center now. Back to 2 bases. Byun, I mean, Hero's taking a 4th. The fight is gonna happen. There is no shields on these Zealots, but even then, it's 1-1, or it's +1 versus +1. And it's 15 army supply more available for Hero. More warpins available. GG, Hero's gonna take game 2. All right, and welcome to 2,000 atmospheres for game number 4. The top right-hand corner is the one. It is the only from Shopify Rebellion. Back against the wall, Byun. And placing a proxy pylon in the middle of the map. It is the man who's looking to get the 3-1, go up 2-0 here in Brawler's Club from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. You know him. You love him. It's the smiling assassin himself. It's Hero. There we go. It's Hero. All right. And boy, oh boy, do we have Hero pulling off some shenanigans. Of course, played absolutely wonderfully in that last game on Glittering Ashes. Pride of Altaris. Managing to get the win with the gold base. Just so gosh darn handsome as that play. Apologies for the jumping around. Finally got on the right observer. But yeah, proxy gateway in the center of the map. Hero's going to look to try and end this game very, very shortly. Get that very quick 2-1. We'll see if he's able to do so as... Ooh, road does almost go down, but he's going to be able to get on out. No worries about losing too much right here at the start of the game. And it's not going to be anything too crazy from Hero so far. Cybernetics Core at home. Of course, that SCV going across the map, just going through the middle of the map as you usually would. We'll see the proxy gateway. So Byun, I really don't think should put this CC on the low ground. I think if anything, you do a high ground CC here. But Byun says no. Byun says, hey, I actually think I can defend this because he does have actually the reactor first. And I believe we've seen this from Byun before, where he goes reactor on the barracks and then ends up following up either to 2 Reapers or 2 Marines if he wants to get a faster factory, as we do see the double Marine production. coming on out. And that Zealot coming across the map, I mean, there's a potential that it slows down this CC, but it really shouldn't do much more than that. As we're actually just going to see it run up into the main base, and really Byun should be able to kite this out as long as he doesn't mess up the micro too majorly. We'll see, it's already a good pullback on the first Marine. The Zealot, though, does a lot of damage. You might need to pull the SCVs to help out here. There we go, the SCV block. Just to aid in this hold. That CC actually still going up, and it is the proxy Stargate as well, so in one of the strangest proxies that I've ever seen from Hero, we have a gateway and a Stargate that are just in the middle of the map, nothing really protecting them. Does manage to get the delay on the CC though, and this can actually be very, very big. Is that a Void Ray? Okay, Hero. Not, I think, exactly what we expected. An Oracle definitely would have made, I think, much more sense in this scenario. You're not going to all in with the Void Ray. You know that Byun's producing 2 Marines at a time, but hey, this is the call, and we'll see if it is the correct one. As well, 2 Adepts are here, but that's a lot of Marines. They immediately shade on into the main base, but they should die. I mean, the Widowmine's going to be coming out. The wall can be lifted. So even if the Void Ray does join up, you're just looking for SCV kills right here. Already 3 going down is decently worthwhile because behind this Hero does have his own Nexus going up. That's a fairly good trade as the Void Ray is going to be coming on in. And, well, yeah, you can focus down the Marines, but the Marines do so much damage, and that Void Ray has to get on out. Oh, almost loses it. Would have been, I think, disastrous had that unit gone down. Again, it's going to be able to hold on to it as this Widowmine, attempted to be killed, will manage to stay up. And Void Ray just trying to poke around, but still, I mean, the value that you've gotten out of the Void Ray, and a second and a third one? This feels very inefficient right now for a Hero, because right now, I mean, you're not getting a lot of value out of these Void Rays, to be completely honest. The value is not there. And you're still going for it as a Void Ray goes down. The second one is getting focus fired. And that's a lot invested for Hero. That really does hurt. You're going to be behind for the rest of the game because of this. There's no real way to offset that difference. You've lost the Void Ray value. You haven't gained anything with them. And a third and a fourth are still coming in. Sure, you're going to get the pick on the Widowmine here, which is nice. But 8 Marines... 8 Marines kind of beat this, especially with 2 Widowmines. And the medevac, it's just so hard for Hero to get anything done with these units. Now he has, of course, equalized the worker count, which is, that means he's in a decent position. It's not terribly bad for him, but still, this is, I mean, so far it was a decent hold from Byun. Having to delay on the CC did suck. I think had it been an Oracle, this could have been so much more efficient for Hero. As this Adept will go down, the 3 Void Rays not going to be able to save it again. They're just not able to do a lot. The 3 Void Rays, they are kind of a non-factor in this game right now, as Phoenix production has now started, but I'm not sure if I like this from Hero. I like the start, but adding on all these additional units, we'll see if he's able to make it work, if he's able to dive on into these mineral lines, but as it is now, he's going to be sitting down about 13 supplies. A great lift off onto the Cyclone. He's going to be able to snipe it. You have to get on out of the base, though. So Viking has now been added on as well. And more Phoenix being added. Twilight Council behind this. More gateways. Hero is sitting comfortably on 2 bases. Widowmine drop, though, is going to delay the mining, as we should see a pick off onto these Widowmines. A very, very nice recall. Byun getting a little bit greedy there with how much he was going to be able to do. That medevac should go down. The boost used, but not shift clicked away. But honestly, Byun not really concerned about that at all, because he has +1 on the way right now. Is sitting comfortably on his 2 racks. Does not have stim done just yet. Hasn't actually even started because the second rack just finished, but we'll have that stim pack eventually on the way, and that's going to be really what makes the big difference here for Byun in this game, is when he can hit that stim timing right now. I mean, adding on tanks, adding on Marines when you're going up against almost a completely air army and you're ahead in supply, that's a pretty good sign that you're going to be able to do pretty well. It's just the immediate damage is really killer, and as Hero, it's just hard to find an opening here. Charge is on the way, so you will have charge lots available alongside additional gateways, but Right now, you're really just relying on these Void Rays, on these Phoenix to keep Byun in his base. And it's working marginally well. Stim pack now on the way. Stim, continued Marine production at the third base coming down from Hero. Going to be trying to really get, I think, some momentum back into this game. It has been left alone, and that's what I think Hero should be doing right now, is the fact that he's being left alone. You take bases, you expand, you get your upgrades, and don't necessarily worry as much about the pressure, and that's exactly what we're seeing from the Dragon Phoenix Protoss. As Byun is going to be adding on his own third command center. And the Forge is also on the way for Hero. The supplies finally evening out, 50 workers apiece, 42 army supply to 44. Make that 40. But the additional gate, or the additional barracks on the way for Byun, which will of course be preparing for his impending attack here. Already has 2 tanks, Vikings, a Cyclone, a whole lot of Marines. And really you can do a lot with this army as Byun. As Hero is moving out here, actually, going to be taking control of the Zelnaga Watchtower. We will see if, Hero's going to try and apply some pressure. Ideally in this situation, as the Protoss, you're not really looking to. You have Phoenix. Again, an Oracle would be nice for scouting, but right now just using these Phoenix to keep tabs on the army. Hero knows that Byun hasn't moved out just yet, has control of the Watchtowers, has, of course, these buildings in the middle that will scout out whatever happens if there is a move out. As Byun is hitting 131 supply, it is almost just purely unit and upgrade production right now. A few workers being added on, of course, because he will be preparing to take his third. But really gearing up for this combat shields and concussive shell to finish. And Hero's still posturing. That's a 4th base from Hero. Hero's at 55 workers, and he's taking a 4th. I'm not sure what that is, if that is even feasibly possible for him to hold on to, but hey, whatever floats his boat. Hero right now is actually going to look to collapse on in. He has a lot of charge loads, but just look how much bio there is from Byun. And the tanks get lifted, but the Zealots are just all going to go down. The Phoenix, the Widowmine shots, all of them connecting, and force fields have to be used to save this army from Hero, but that was not the engagement that he wanted. He gets 11 workers. The Byun was already up almost 11 workers. As Ghosts are now on the way, +1. Ground up, +1 ground up was just finished. That was such an anti-timing from Hero. He actually didn't have his upgrade in time for the attack. That really hurts. You really need to have those upgrades done and ready. And the fact that Hero did not. Gotta be just a little bit worried for him now, as he's gonna try and go back in, but you're down 30 supply, and I don't know if this is the attack you're looking for. Byun just has so much to defend, and Hero's supply immediately drops. No worker kills coming through this time, and Byun is still up in the economy. These sentries will get chased down, and that should just be game. Hero, you did not have a position to be aggressive here. You did not have a place in this game to try and be the one who is attacking, and Byun should be able to tie it up, should be able to hold on, keep his hopes of a 2-0 start alive. Hero's going to try and hold on, but I just really don't think there's anything in it for him. Zealots continue to charge on in. Going to get some damage. The bio is low. There's not a lot of medevacs, but it really does not matter at this point. Byun has more, and that's what matters. Phoenix continuing to scout out. The rocks are going to be knocked down, and Hero's staying in this game. A little bit of a fantasy GG timing for the Protoss, which you don't normally see, but hey, every race can do it. It's not just exclusive to one or the other, and that's how you know a game is balanced. Byun is just going to be knocking down a few of these buildings. Hero's trying to remax on charge lots, but unfortunately, charge lots against Ghosts, with this bio army, you just don't trade well. That is the unfortunate fact of the matter. is you're not going to trade well as, yeah, I mean, the Widowmine shots, the EMPs, everything is going to fall. And Hero's below 100 supply. Byun is continuing to expand, continuing to grow on this map. And again, no matter how much value these charge lots get, does not matter. GG, we're all tied up. Hero, hero, hero. What are you going to do? And so far, it is a gateway at home. So that is already an accomplishment. We are not having a proxy gateway in this game, which is definitely an achievement here. So no immediate cheese, but one thing that I will say, I'm going to put in just my 6 cents here. The last time I did see Hero play a TVP on this map, it was versus Byun, actually, in a best of 7, I believe. And Hero was really obsessed with the 4 to 5 gate Blink Stalker. And it was the last game of the series, potentially. His opponent was on match point. And Hero said, listen, I'm going to go 5 gate Blink Stalker on Glittering Ashes. He then proceeded to blink all of his Stalkers into 2 tanks and lost the series. I don't know if he's going to do that again, but I just wanted to put it out there that that could happen. We are going to see once again the quick expand from Byun, though. Again, this is a large map. You can absolutely afford to do this, and it seems as though this is what he's felt the most comfortable with in TVP against Hero. There are other players where he likes to play it more safe. There are other times where Byun is just feeling like, listen, I want to play it a bit more safe. Because, and that's, I think that's usually for definitely larger tournaments is when he does end up throwing that out there. But I like this double Reaper opening. I think it's actually quite cool. It does end up getting quite a bit of value sometimes. And we are going to be seeing the second barracks, so it should be a 3 racks opening from Byun off of this. Quick expand into 3 racks. I don't know really, you know. Call me if there's anything new, but this is just what has been happening these past few games. And that is a very, very early engineering base. You know what that means. It is going to be a bit more aggressive of a 3 racks. When you have that early of an NG bay, usually that means you're going to get that very early +1. You're going to be working with just Stim, Marines, and Marauders on potentially 3 racks. We'll see if he just stays at the 2 and potentially gets into a factory. 2 Reapers going to make their way into the main KD8 charge. Tries to knock the Stalker back, but does end up missing. Only gets a single probe so far and is just going to try and look for scouting information. Scouts the Blink Stalker, though, and look at that. I was right. Blink Stalkers are going to be the tech choice here for Hero in game number 5. All right, it is the 3rd racks. It is Stim. Just waiting to see. There we go. Yeah, +1 also started up. So this is going to be the aggressive version of the 3 racks. This is the version where at 5 minutes you have +1 Stim. You move across the map with a whole bunch of Marines and you try and catch your opponent off guard. However, it's also matching up into what's going to most likely be at the very least, a 4-gate from Hero. And 4-gate Blink Stalker, if you're out on the map and able to pressure, actually does pretty decently against the 3 racks. You're able to chip away at a lot of the Marines, and there's no medevac to heal them back up. So we'll see how this goes. It's definitely an interesting matchup of builds. Apologies as I adjust the mic. As the factory is going down, there is no add-on on that 3rd barracks, as Inu points out. So we're just having 4 Marines at a time right now. Appears as though it's just going to be the 3 gateway, 3-gate Blink Stalker. Again, a lot less committal, a lot more meant for the defense and slight pressure. You are not trying to end the game with 3-gate Blink Stalker. You are just trying to be a little bit aggressive, maybe snipe an add-on, maybe snipe a tank if there's a tank out, but you're really not looking to end the game. But that being said, I knew it! I knew it! It was 6-gate last time they played on this map. That's what it was. It wasn't 5-gate. It was 6-gate Blink Stalker. Hero's doing it again. It's an Immortal. He's going to go all in on 2 bases in game number 5. What else would Hero do? What else? I absolutely love this. And here's the thing. Is Byun going to be ready for it? Because Byun hasn't done the 5-minute move out. Byun is instead staying back at his base, getting concussive shell, getting combat shields, and extend. What? Wait. Am I wrong? Like, this has to be... It's 6 gateways. Early Colossus. Byun, I mean, Hero has to be going across the map at some point here with getting extended thermal lance, and he might just be waiting for those Colossus. I think that is it. He's just gonna wait for one Colossus and then go. But that does delay this pressure quite a lot. And Byun right now is just getting a third base on location. Now, this could be dangerous. Third base on location. You're gonna have to try and defend it. If there's too much, though, Byun has to be able to cancel that base. Getting across the map, just scouts a few stalkers, but look how many units are gathering up here for Hero. Uh-oh, Byun, immediate force fields. A lot of those Marines are gonna get trapped. And there's a Colossus now with this army. Byun doesn't have any... he doesn't have any factory units to help support this. It is just the bio, it is concussive shell, it is +1. Is that enough? Oh, the snipe on the Warp Prism! But he loses so much for it. Trying to fight this, but the Marines are also low. Immediately cancels the third base. He's gonna have to just retreat to his bunker. Immediately swaps over for a tech lab onto that factory. Needs to try and get out a tank, as repair is going to be used up. Hero has to wait for another Warp Prism before he can continue to commit on in. Force fields do manage to catch another Marauder. And disruptors are now on the way to blink up. It's going to be a snipe onto the factory tech lab, which just means, hey, listen, you're not going to be able to build tanks, which is the unit that you want right now to hold on. And it's continued all in here from Hero. The bunker is now exposed. The force fields onto the bunker, and it's going to go down. Now the SCVs are going to be the target. Byun, he can afford to lose a few. He has 9 SCVs ahead right now. He's continued to produce them. Vikings are on the way. The SCVs are going to be pulled. The Marauders are trying their best to fight this army, but there's now a Warp Prism available, so the Colossus can be juggled back. 19 SCVs are falling, but the line of Stalkers are going down, and there is just enough bio left that this Colossus is going to be forced away, and Byun holds. He loses 26 SCVs. He's knocked down to an even worker count, or even behind his opponent. And oh no, Hero! Oh! Loses the disruptor. And now Byun's gonna move across the map, and what is there for Hero? And he has a shield battery. He has maybe 2 Colossus that are gonna be out, some Zealots that might have a charge, but Byun just makes the miracle hold. And Byun, I mean, that cancel, that was everything. Canceling at the last second, making sure that he could pull the SCVs, pull the boys, and find the hold. And now it's just these 2 Colossus are the hope for Hero, as he needs to be careful. Great juggle backs onto the Colossus. Shield battery overcharge not used quite yet. Doesn't need to be used in that third base, and definitely forfeit. Neither player gonna be allowed to take one. Once a third Colossus gets out, you know, it might be a bit easier for Hero to hold this, but until then, has to wait, has to let this siege, or this tank siege up his robotics facility. Now Hero's gonna look for a position though. His army is just smaller than his opponent's, but he's got 3 Colossus. He's got charge, he's gonna collapse onto the tank. First, that's already going down. The Vikings managed to snipe the Warp Prism though, so there's no more micro-ability onto these Colossus, and the blink blacks come through. But it might not matter. The Colossus are trying their hardest, but it is +1 bio that is absolutely shredding through the armored units. The Colossus stands strong. And Hero now manages to hold. There's a third base coming behind this though for Byun. And Hero, this is all that he has. And Hero, what do you have left? I mean, Disruptor's on the way. He's gonna take a third, and I think that's the right call, because really you can't reasonably go all in from this position. It's very, very dangerous too. You know Byun has so much, so he's just gonna try and catch back up. Get back even on that worker count. Get disruptors. Get units that trade well. Get splash damage. He knows there's so much bio in this army. But he's also still going to need a decent stalker count. You know, more Vikings are being produced right now. You already have 6 out on the map. And that's absolutely enough to two-shot a Colossus if they get 2 full volleys. It is the kind of the key number that you want to get to. Is right now Byun is up 30 supply. Hero, he's going to try and fight back from a supply deficit. And I mean, well, the army count is close. Still, he is behind, and the Vikings, that's the danger of the blink forward. You can't get the one-shot, though. Disruptor Nova is going to push them away, but the Stalkers can't turn, and Byun should just be able to chase this down. The Stalker's finally going to try and turn now. Another Disruptor is on the way. But I don't know if that Disruption Nova is going to be enough. The Vokes fire from Byun. It doesn't go off. The Colossus are going to fall, and that is going to be it. Byun is going to go 2-0. Get the win in 5 as Hero tried his hardest, tried to be aggressive, but it just did not work out. And what a series this has been. Third base on location, 51 workers. Hero, his Stalkers are going to go down. The Disruptor is going to fall. Doesn't even get a kill. As this Disruptor falls, one more is going to throw out a shot. Won't connect with anything. GG.